Education is the passport to the future, for tomorrow belongs to those who prepare for it today. Hi, this is Professor Presburg back with another episode of Hey Professor, the show where we talk about everything. That was a long pause where I was like, no, it's fine. The show where we talk about everything you guys want to know about healthcare, as well as business and business management courses and or career advice. I'm your professor, Javon H. Presburg. I'm trying out something new at the gym. That's not, if you watch enough of these, you know I really have no idea, like, as far as what I want to say. So I'm trying out something new. Anyway, this is another episode of Students Ask. This is actually the part 2 to the one that I did yesterday, where one of my students reached out and asked me, said, hey, what are the pros and cons of working in a large organization versus a small organization, as well as is it possible to move up the ladder within that organization. So this is part 2. Some other pros and cons, going over benefits, as well as little perks and recognition. Let's start with benefits though, right? Benefits. Working in a large organization, you're going to more likely than not have some pretty beefy benefits that are pretty solid, pretty good. Obviously, talking healthcare, you're going to look at a lot of things like vision and reimbursement for like CEUs and education. Some larger organizations still may have matching, 401k matching. Somewhere between 2 and 4% is a standard. The higher up you go. While I've never seen this at the manager level, I have seen it at the director level. A lot of, let's say, HIM directors, even revenue cycle directors have a performance-based quarterly bonus, which means if you do well or your department does well, you get a quarterly bonus. That's pretty damn nice. That's on top of what your salary is. Like I said, I've only seen that at large organizations. Am I saying it doesn't exist at smaller ones? I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I've never seen it. Obviously, that depends on the health of your organization as well. So it is very likely that the more healthy your organization, the more that you're getting paid. I would say that your bonus is probably going to be larger too. A smaller organization isn't likely to have that. They're not likely to have bonuses at the manager or director level. They may start at the VP level, if that. Don't forget, there are different levels that you may not even be privy to. There are levels such as senior director, associate VP, VP, senior VP. But then a lot of them have those smaller benefits as well. Like maybe you get like 5 or 10% off your cell phone coverage or something like that. Or maybe they may ally with like a local theme park or something to give you free tickets, something like that. Again, that's more prevalent in the larger ones, so that means anything to you, maybe stick to the larger ones. Again, I'm not, and I want to preface this, right? I'm not kicking small organizations. There's nothing wrong with working in a small organization. A lot of people stay there and find satisfaction there. The type of work that you do is going to be different, and the type of requirements are going to be lessened. The type of pressure on you is likely to be lessened. Overall, the expectations on you are probably going to be lessened as well. The pressure on you is going to be lessened as well. So it's okay to work at a smaller place. In fact, people have worked smaller places because they don't want to deal with that. Not everybody wants to be, VP of the whole world. You know what I mean? Moving on to recognition and culture. Recognition and culture. Let's say this, right? Let's start with recognition. Recognition is pretty straightforward, right? If you work in really large places, it's hard to be recognized because you kind of get lost in the sea, right? I mean, you're going to have people, like I said in the last video, directors, senior directors, lateral directors to them. 4 or 5 people are the director of nursing for some reason. You know what I mean? So recognition for those kind of groups, those people in larger organizations, is far and few between. So if that means something to you, you're not really going to get recognized. You kind of get washed away in the sea. It's kind of hard to stand out. Whereas smaller organizations, I've worked at smaller organizations where they do employee of the month every month, and the majority of the staff meet in the cafeteria and they go, they congratulate people. They do birthday announcements. They do stuff like Black History Month and Pride Month and, Hispanic heritage and Asian heritage, all those things. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm going to be honest with you, I've worked in the bigger ones. They're not really doing that. They don't got time for that. Of course, depending on the size of the organization, but it's entirely possible to, walk down one main hallway at your organization and find all the main players and bump into everybody and know even the CEO of your own company. They might do something like a Juneteenth, or they may celebrate just because, or they may have an ice cream truck come by. And I'm not making this up. You're like, an ice cream truck? No, I worked at a place that, had an ice cream truck come by, and they recognized the employees. And honestly, it was good. It was a really good feeling. It made you feel noticed. It made you feel recognized. If that's important to you, you may want to stick to the smaller ones. I'm going to tell you the truth. That's the difference, right? There's you're going to get, like I said, a more of an intimate knowledge, intimate relationship, knowing these people a little bit more closely in a more impactful way in a smaller organization. In a big organization, you're not really going to stand out, unless you're a superstar or unless you're just known for whatever reason. But at the smaller place, people are going to know you, and you're going to be recognized. So, from an employee standpoint, right, not a management standpoint, I imagine that would feel better because people are telling you that you're doing a good job. That don't really happen in big ones. I expect you to do your job. The recognition for that is that you get paid. That's pretty much how that goes. Now, is it possible to move up within those organizations? Yes, it is possible. It's a little bit different, obviously, in bigger or larger organizations. I'll go over that, right? So in a smaller organization, I want to say it's easier to move up. Obviously, that position has to be available, but I want to say it's easier to move up because that's where you can really make those moves, And I've honestly, I don't want to say guilty, not the word guilty, but I've done that. My first management job was at a small organization. It was a 50 or 60 bed rehab. That was my first management job, and that got me, in the direction I wanted to go. Places are more likely to give you a chance, to give you a shot. The requirements are lesser, the expectations are lower. What I mean is, at a larger organization, they may require, let's say, a bachelor's and an RHIA if you want to be a HIM director. Whereas at a smaller place, they may require an associate's and an RHIT. I literally was a HIM manager with just my associate's degree and an RHIT back in the day. That's how that worked for me. So while you may be forming thoughts in your head about, jumping in, getting experience, getting the title, moving in, moving up, and moving on, I do want to kind of preface it that may or may not work as well as you think. Some of the other organizations are kind of aware, and I don't want to say aware of, let's say, your title, but there is that lack of respect between them. What do I mean? You're going from a smaller place, right? Let's say you're going from a 50-bed rehab, and then you're trying to go to a acute care inpatient facility with a lot of beds, like 400 beds, right? Way different experience, and they're going to know that lack of respect exists. So they're going to look at that title, and even though you may have the title, they're going to know that you're not doing departmental, budgets. They're going to know that you're not doing, in-depth contract negotiations with your vendors. You're just not doing that kind of stuff, and they know that. Again, not to say it's not possible, because I literally did it. I did that. I jumped from small to large. I'm just saying I don't want it to seem like it's a one for one. I don't want to kind of put it out there, and have someone think it's one for one. It does exist as the opportunity, as a possibility, but let's say like going from a $65,000 to like a $250,000 job, going from small to large is the chances are a little bit lower, Hey guys, it's Professor Presbury. Don't worry about that. I'm doing a project with the wall. Don't. It's not like I'm living like that, like a crazy wall. I'm doing a project. So sorry, that's not it. Point is, the video got mad long, so I had to cut it up. So it's gonna be 3 parts. So if you're wondering why suddenly I'm walking and it's like weird, blah blah blah, this is me editing, adding this in to say that I'm cutting it up more, because nobody trying to sit there and watch no 20-minute video. You feel me? So I appreciate you guys. I might even use this twice for both ones. I don't know. I'm very busy today. So have a good one. Thanks for watching. Bye. Intelligence is not enough. intelligence plus character. That is the true goal of education.